Hey guys, how's it going? So this is going to be Ponkcast number 3. I'm going to try and keep it as sort of concise as I can. Let's talk about the NRS silence, and it's a big hot topic at the moment. It's a big debate. Lots of people are deciding now, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I'm on the camp, as you'll be aware, that I don't care if there's changes, but I care for the people that play it if there's changes. And I hope that, obviously, we all hope that there are good changes, but I'd rather have new content changes than no changes. No changes is literally the worst for me out of everything. So, when we look at yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of Mortal Kombat 11, and they had no announcements. Ed Boon was on Twitter and there was a couple of things, but they just said, "Wait, 1 year, guys. Thank you." In this day and age now, when it comes to gaming and games, there's so much choice across multiple genres and all that. All the developers are all rushing and whatever to get that quick fix from all the customers, and of them all going around and playing for the content. Now, you're always going to have, and I'll label them just so it's easy to understand, simps. Right? So, every single game will have its simps. And the simps are the dedicated, loyal fans who will play the game through thick and thin, God bless them, and whether they're enjoying the experience or they're not enjoying it, they just play it, they grind it, they know nothing else. It's in their blood, it's how they define themselves. You're not gonna slant them on that, that's just how it is. So you cannot use these players, that your dedicated base, as a means of whether the game is hustling and bustling, right? All you can do is go, well, we're always gonna have these fans. We could be underperforming as a development team. These fans would still be there. We might lose a few, but in general, the hardcore people will be there through thick or thin, as I said before. What game developers have realised now, just like how streamers do, if you look at any variety streamer and how it is now, they're just on the next hot thing. And that's what gamers do. And especially now we're in this COVID epidemic, people are thirsting, they're thirsting for new content. They're thirsting for new games, new patches on things. They just want new. You want that fix, you want new. Oh, new cards are coming out on which, new guns on Modern Warfare, massive Warzone multiplayer and all that lot. And when there's dead silence on the game or a community that you like, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna play this one instead. Like, I've got NRS are giving nobody such as myself, who's not a hardcore fan of this game, any reason to play it. Now, I simped for Injustice 2 because I really enjoyed a certain character in it, Cheetah, if you've followed me, and a couple of others that I dabble around with, but they did kind of patch it a little bit more. And I always had hope. in the back of my mind that they would patch Cheetah and actually make her viable. If you're out of the mail, she was Cheetah against anyone that actually knew the matchup was completely unviable. It was she had so many hard counters like Wonder Woman and stuff, and she was fun to play, and I loved playing her. But by God, it was hard work. No advancing strings. So she always had to dash up. So she'd dash up, down 3, dash up, down 1 or whatever. So you just had to check her dashes and stuff. She had very big flaws. But I always thought, hopefully, they'll fix. And it never happened. And it should have been at that moment that I realised that as a developer, they've completely changed their stance on things. So let's look at this from an objective point of view, from their shoes. They've looked at it. They spent the whole of Injustice, maybe I wasn't really there for MKX, but the whole of Injustice 1 and MKX patching relentlessly. And they realised that no matter how much patching they did, content they did, Watchtower streams and all that lot, the community, because they gave them an inch, they took a mile. The community were just like, oh my god, they're patching stuff, fix my character, give me my changes. And what happens when you do this is the forums and all that are just littered with this is bad, this is wrong, nerf this, buff this, and all that lot. And if you want to take a good example of this from a different genre, look at Path of Exile, which is a GGG game where they have a insane, amazing community manager, Bex. I think they might have a couple more, but she's like the lead community manager, and she literally spends all day with these people managing them and managing expectations and saying we understand and all that lot, and God bless her. But it's an example here of a game which is started off as a very small game for a small company, but it's blown up in the meantime. But what they do right is that they do still deliver on the patches, and they do constantly. You don't have to wait a week to hear from them. It's nearly every day where they're like, we're looking into this, guys. Yeah, we know, we've heard you. And that constant reassurance will keep these players occupied. They'll keep them on the thing. Now, it gets to the point that even in a game like this, with constant patches, the player base will fall. And what they do to sort of supplement that is when the player base falls, they release a new season. And we've seen this on a lot of games where they've introduced a season pass. It's kind of like the developer gimmick right now. And the season pass is there where they bring in a bunch of shiny new goodies, maybe a few free things to throw in, to get people to return. And that's the gimmick. It's like, we don't have to, reinvent everything, reinvent the wheel. We just have to provide them seasons, and our influx of players, even if it's not constantly high, we will still retain, at least that peak will come back, right? And this strings them along to the next big release or whatever, and we know we've got these players interested there. In the back of their mind, when they say, oh, well, what games do you play? Because they have to think about it, and they go, well, actually, I was playing COD the other day, so I must, to be honest, I play a bit of Warzone, They might not be their main game, but it's one that's on the back burner. And the developers seem to be understanding that, just like if you watch Twitch streams, when you watch a Twitch streamer who's a multi-game streamer, they're like the player. They're a big representative of why they're so big and why so many people are watching them. Is everyone's looking for that next new exciting thing and they want to be a part of it, right? That's it. That's there's no secret. That's it. People just want new. They don't want better. They obviously don't want worse. But it's not that they want better. They just want new. This is what the average consumer wants. You can deny that, but you'd be wrong by the data that's evident. There's a new game out, guys. It could be hot trash. Streamer plays it, people are in there watching it because it's something new. So whether or not they retain the player base is the quality of the product, the development team, the community direction from the community manager, things like that. And if you look at the Twitch numbers on Mortal Kombat 11, which should be one of the biggest games on Twitch, in my opinion, in terms of viewership or whatnot, it's dead as a dodo. And it's a direct representation of the communication from them and the fact that they literally only ever talk when they've got something to sell. The community manager, I don't understand. That title should just be changed to just NRS employee, because we don't have a community manager. It doesn't exist. It's kind of sad. It's upsetting. And a lot of people will blame the community for that being the case, but the community of NRS is not a specific level of toxicity than any other community, right? League of Legends community is probably, for me, or the Dota community there, or even the characters, they're all toxic. All the players are toxic. There are, but what the difference between that, the NRS community and those communities and things like that, is the devs have risen above that. Even the GGG, the Path of Exile I was talking about before, the devs rise above the levels of wine, and they look at what they want and their passion for the game and their sort of vision, and they just glide over the players and just go, we're just going to go in a direction. If you don't like it, you can go, but we're hoping that we're going to bring on and we're going to tickle the people, the core player base that we harmonise with enough that they will just come along with us for the ride. And the NRS developer team, have instead of doing that, they've gone, we can't satisfy our community, because if we give them If we, like I say, if you take an inch, they'll take a mile, sort of thing. If we give them changes, they'll complain because they want more changes. And if we don't change, they'll complain. So we can't make them happy. So we're just going to do nothing. I'm not saying they have done nothing. I think that's actually a really harsh thing to say. But what I mean is, at this moment in time, they are actually, in terms of communication, well, they're not doing anything. The patches for MK11, out of all the games that I've personally been in contact with over the past year, this marks the 1 year anniversary, they have done less content on MK11 than every single game I've touched. We're talking about 20 plus titles, which are all most of the top ones on Twitch. Look at Call of Duty. I know it's a different genre. That game came out after MK11, quite a bit after MK11. That's got a lot of content. They added a huge Warzone thing on it and everything. All free, by the way. Battle Pass, I think they're on the second or third Battle Pass now. Brand new maps. They've released a couple of packs of map waves and things like that. New guns, new operators. It's there's a whole shop full of different skins and customizable stuff. And then you look at MK11, and it's like the roller haze going over. Oh, we've they put like a couple of bug fixes in and made some of the interactions. It's not bad. Nearly every change that they've done to the game has been a good, positive change. But there's been very, very little in terms of the amount. Dragon Ball, like if I'm going to compare, they literally released Dragon Ball 2. At the end of the season, they dropped it on the players. We've still got DLC coming out. We've got Ultra Instinct to go to with more. They announced the season pass and all that lot. And we understand as a community that we're probably not going to get anything with the tournament season now due to COVID. Are the Dragon Ball players sat on Twitter? Bear in mind, there's more Dragon Ball people viewing Dragon Ball than there is MK. Do you see them going, are we going to get a patch, guys? Are we going to get any new content? No. I have not seen one person asking to patch anything other than just saying, yeah, bar.b assist broke. They're not even saying they need to patch it because they completely understand that there's no patch at the moment. But the problem with the NRS scene and what they've done to their fans and their community is they've said so little from what used to be so much. They used to say so much that people are like, this can't be right. People are just, it's gone beyond the fact that people just say, no, it's probably, they're so much in disbelief that they're like, surely we're going to get something, right? A season 2 announcement? Like, hello? Again, that's me trying to sort of emphasize what other people say. That's not my thing. I wouldn't expect a season 2 announcement anytime soon unless it was already done. I understand that a lot of them have to work from home, and I understand that they're working on their next title as well, I presume. So there's going to be a lot of things where they have to prioritize whatever, but I just think that I've not seen anyone asking for Street Fighter fixes, by the way. In fact, people are shocked when patches hit. People are like, how are they patching the game? Like Granblue's getting patches and new characters and all that, but how are they doing this? Like, that's the response from other communities. NRS community, it's tumbleweed. Sorry, not the community, from the dev team, it's tumbleweed in the community. Just like, is that it then? Are we didn't really get much, and you're not, it's like giving someone, half a cup of water or something, and like, there you go, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So that's my fault. After a year, I was expecting at the very, very, very minimum, just sort of, hey guys, it's been a turbulent year. Our whole design thing has just been out. We said that we wanted to continue to support and update the game. It is coming, guys. Just hold on a little bit longer, and we'll let you know when anything's on the pipeline. I think everybody would have just hit that like button and gone, you go team. Hope everyone's safe out there. And if you didn't do that, you're a jackass. Like simple things like that. But again, it's radio silence. And when this microwave culture, people aren't going to have MK11 on the back burner. People aren't going to be watching it on Twitch, keeping up to date with the current sort of metagame. Nah, they're off playing with the developers that actually interact and do things with the fans and all that lot. And sure, you'll have the simps that just continue to play because it's everything in their being and whatnot. But in terms of new players and growing the Twitch viewership and things like that, it's not going to happen in any great amount anytime soon. So any of the numbers, they're going to be stale and stagnant. And I was thinking about this the other day. When you look at Rio's stream and these other streamers, there are a few, there are more streamers that are popping up, and I'm really glad that we've got good content creators in the scene. But when you look at the numbers, although maybe there's slightly more, it's not grown a great deal since MKX. And at what point do you blame the streamers? They're not entertaining enough, they're not engaging with the community. Or do you start going, is there something else here about the game's design and how the game that's not growing? Because if I look at Dragon Ball, sure, Dragon Ball doesn't pull in the greatest of numbers, but over time, it's definitely going more like the weekly in the Bronx, is it Bums, whatever. I've seen that at 1.5K viewers. And it's that's a lot. NRS hosts a tournament that goes on the front page of Twitch, and it's like, 2K? It's on the front page. You're not getting into a Dragon Ball stream from the front page that's a weekly from some guy, in the Bronx. It just doesn't happen. So you have to look at that. Now, if fighting games in general don't have massive viewership on Twitch, that's just a fact. A lot of it comes to it's hard to be entertaining, it's hard to enjoy, because you've got to put so much concentration into your gameplay. So the people that are able to play the game and entertain are the people that really thrive, and that's really hard. Like, if you look at Smug from Street Fighter V, that's someone who can entertain the player base while playing, just because he's so goddamn good, and he's also a personality, and that's why he's hustling and bustling. But the YouTube side of things, this is maybe where it's got sort of all gone downhill. So on the YouTube side of things, there are a lot of sort of content creators that are hustling and bustling, because on YouTube, like, it's a better sort of thing for people. They can study the gameplays, they can pause and things like that, they can watch high level matches. But with Mortal Kombat, because of the fatalities and stuff, there was this whole thing early on about, you're getting demonetized. Like, maybe that put a lot of people off and things, and maybe these different changes of videos, maybe that put viewership off as well. So there's lots of things you've got to take into account as to why it's stagnated on the viewership, and why I can tune into an FF7 the old game stream and the guy's got 5K viewers, yet one of the most beloved franchises also of all time is kind of like not getting these things. So that's kind of what I wanted to say on that fact. I was watching Rio's podcast a little bit, or listening to, should I say. He was talking with Tom Brady and a few others. They were talking about bringing customs out, and it was just the same old thing of, you can't do that, but you can do that. The problem with customs is people will moan. It's like, you do nothing, they'll moan. It's better to do new, so you just at least keep people coming back for a little bit of a nibble on the bait, even if they don't fully, dive in and become a simp to your game. At least they're kind of on the back burner. At least you're kind of stringing them along for a little bit longer, and it adds to the weight between their next game as well. So let's say they turn around and just said, hey guys, Combat League for the next season or whatever. Because let's be honest, most games have got these new season passes and whatnot. What does Mortal Kombat do? New Combat League skins, different shaders. No, I'm not. I mean, don't get me wrong, I see people that are grinding these skins, and I commend them. I'm not too sure, but absolutely not. Like, no, I don't want a different colour shader for my character, or, I don't want my Kano to look like Quan Chi. So it's not, like, that's not, I don't want that. I want content, I want updates, I want balance. I want to be in there because so I can get better, and I can enjoy new content, for the game, new things. So they do a 1 month Combat League next, let's say they do starting on next Combat League, instead of them advertising the skins, although they can advertise them as well, because most games just throw through the season and say, new arena, new map, test out our new map on Combat League, maybe they've got a new stage, and for free, and for the whole duration of the Combat League season, customs are enabled. And what they can do is they can say, we've removed a couple. Maybe if there's a few that they're just like, look guys, these are just remove them. Just don't have them in the pool. If you've like the Terminate ability can go, but even the ones that may be a bit too strong, just leave them. Let them rock for a month. People will moan, but guess what? It doesn't matter. They'll moan anyway, but at least they're talking about your game. At least people are interacting. At least people are clicking on like, retweet, People are posting underneath it, yeah, that one's bad, but look at this one as well. People are talking about the game. People are interested in the game, good or bad. No such thing as bad publicity. The problem is if you do that, let it rock, then leave it for another 6 months. That's when people leave. But if you go, we're going to do this, we're going to open up customs, guys, we're going to be taking all the feedback from it. Don't overload us with the feedback. We are watching, but, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, be courteous about the whole thing, but we are watching. If there's anything that's too broken, we may step in and whatnot. But in general, it's just I mean, again, Combat League's nothing serious, guys. It's like there's nothing. It's not a serious game mode. It gets reset. Nobody cares if you're Elder God or whatnot. None of it matters. Like, it's not an actual rank. It's like the worst ranking thing I've ever seen in my life. The top players I'm watching Foxy and he's playing against like Grandmasters or whatnot. He's Elder God. I'm thinking it's so ridiculous. It's just a bit of fun, but if they do that and they throw it in there, I'll re-download it, I'll have a look, it'll be a bit of a laugh. Whether I'll stay simping, I don't know. But what I do know is that it will get me back on the game, it'll sort of plug that airtime a little bit, it might get me talking about it, I'll make more videos, more content, saying, oh, this is what I've found, and this is my favourite. People will be sharing their variations all over the media and all that lot. People will be talking about the game. The Twitch numbers for the game will go up because people are interested in, oh, what's the best variation right now? It's mine. I've got this secret variation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Anything, even if it negatively impacts the game, is better than nothing. Now, the only time you could challenge that is, well, there's two things: people who just don't like change, but you're never gonna make them happy anyway. But the other is tournaments. But we've got tournaments going. People are paying real money to go, and you don't get broken. Nobody's paying anything to go to tournaments anymore. Most of them are free entry, they're all online, so nobody's got anything to lose. And yeah, that's it. Like, there's nothing more to say. There's no reason for them not to release customs now. Clearly, we're not going to have any tournaments this year. It's just never happening in a million years. So there's no reason for them to nanny state the community over it. Just let us rock. Let us do what we want to do. And then if you want to step in at some point and lock it all up and throw it all away and say, no more customs anymore, but we've spent this past 6 months rejigging everything or whatnot, whatever. So that's my stance on it. I didn't like the silence. I thought the silence was wrong, but I'm not the developer. They'll obviously have a way in mind. It's not like they're going bust anytime soon. So whatever they do, they can do. If people want to simp for them and say, oh, they're doing fine, they're bringing out loads of content, that's well within their rights to do that. But it's just it's a lie. Like, when you compare to other developers, they're not even doing anything close to, let alone within their own genre, they're not even touching any of them. Like, the content is like a month's worth, like maybe 2 in the development cycle for most other games. So don't lie to people about it. Like, there's not been much for this game, but on the other side, there is definitely a lot of positive things in the game, and the game as a sort of base is whatever. One last final touch, because this is still running under 30 minutes. That is my sort of average podcast time that I want eventually. In regards to the custom variation moves and things like that, and how it is, I actually think that they should just let you pick 3 moves. Something like that. That would be a good. Because at the moment they've got like this thing where, you can only have 1 move or 2 moves or up to 3 moves. But the problem with that is then you're balancing this point system on how good the move is. And then if people are just picking the good moves that are like 2-3 points, you're not increasing the creativity in the characters as much. People are just going to pick the launcher and then maybe like a better zoning tool, right? But if you have people picking 3, then they're able to have a launcher, zoning tool, and utility. It will add more life to the characters, it'll add more specials to the characters, it will give people more things. And the other side of the coin as well is, you've got moves that take away other moves, like clashes and things like that. I would like them to just remove that and just have it so that characters have baseline moves and all the extra ones are just extras, so they'll have to change the inputs. But I understand that's a design thing that will take longer to do, and I wouldn't expect them to do it straight away, but it is something that I would expect them to look at. The game itself is pretty good, but there's only so long somebody can enjoy Strike Throw. Like someone like Foxy, who's enjoying the game thoroughly, and maybe even he doesn't like it that much, but he literally played the game you play in MK11 in MKX because he enjoyed it. So he literally loved just going strike or throw. That was his whole game plan. So when you put it in MK11, of course he's going to enjoy it. Of course he's going to think it's decent. But there's a lot of people out there that like creativity, do like setups and things like that. And in MK11, it's non-existent because the moves list are so small, the frame data on the strings is just so rigid. And hopefully that's addressed in future patches. But at the moment, we don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed Ponkcast 3. Let me know what changes you'd like to see from NRS, and I'll see you next time.